We're in Santa Monica for this episode of Channel Alexis TK6. Be sure to stay until the end for a special sneak peek at Saving Zoe, starring Vanessa and Marano. Why is it so crowded in Santa Monica? What are all these people doing here? Is it a concert? Is it a party? It's YallWest, a young adult and middle grade book fest. Like every year, this was a sold-out event. And every year, thousands of young people descended upon Santa Monica to attend this spectacular festival. Where else can you meet your favorite artists and illustrators and maybe learn a thing or two about the writing process? I'm here with CV Lee.
Hello.
Can you tell me about your series?
Yeah, it's about a group of teenagers who take on a corrupt government superhero agency. So it's a lot of fun. There's 4 books in the series, 2 are out now, and the 3rd one will be out in June. So basically it's all about like being your own hero, and each character has their own journey and then how they can find their own strength that way.
And who inspired you to start writing?
I would have to say, I have so many books that I love and authors that I love. I really loved the Harry Potter series growing up, and I loved a lot of Star Wars and like superheroes in general, so like X-Men and all of that, and I really wanted to write my own series as well, so that's kind of how that began.
Alright, cool.
I just finished it. I was reading it. It was so good.
Wait, you did not just finish it.
Well, I was reading it right after, and it was really good. Graphic novels and comics have become serious literary works. Let's meet some well-known authors and illustrators in the industry on brainstorming the creation of a graphic novel.
Hello everybody. You are here for the middle grade Storyball graphic novel edition. If you are here for anything else, you're now here for that. And it's about to begin. We are your host, Alex London, and
Pseudonymous Bosch.
And we are here to pick your brains today to create an original graphic novel that has never existed before and will never exist again, live in this moment with a group of amazing professional authors and illustrators.
So, we have our sci-fi story. We're about to set the scene. Are you ready? Where does our story take place?
Our story takes place on an asteroid that looks like a planet and moves around. There is strange vegetation on the asteroid, almost Seussian.
Okay, do you guys have a name for the asteroid?
Asteroid Zeus.
Asteroid Zeus. Asteroid Zeus, it's speeding through the universe. It's very much like a planet covered with strange Seussian vegetation. Okay.
With a treehouse.
With a treehouse.
Yes.
Okay.
What about our hero?
Tell us about our hero.
So, our hero is a plant person from this asteroid, native to this asteroid, and his name is Sycamore.
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 And we know the most important thing when you're writing a story, when you have your character, is you need to give that character something they want. They need a goal. There's no story unless they have something that they want.
There is some literary expertise right here. You must be an author.
I was not supposed to do any work today, you promised. So he falls in love with a human girl astronaut who she and her family have discovered this asteroid for the first time humans have seen it. And the obstacle, of course, is she doesn't know he's not just a plant.
Oh, it's the classic story of a girl and a tree and unrequited love. It's Romeo and Juliet meets the Nature Channel.
We need to introduce our villain.
Yes, it does.
After all, who chopped down the tree to make a treehouse?
We wanted something that was elegant and seductive and also sci-fi, so we have a lizard lady.
Alright, so we have our setting, I believe. We have a hero, and we have a villain.
So we need to bring this story to a close.
And maybe what they would call it.
And I want to find out from each of our professionals up here, in just 1 or 2 quick sentences, you've just reached this point in the story, the lovers are back, people are dying, Lizzie's dying, lovers are returning. How would you end this story?
Lizzie dies. Treehouse lover, no! Leaps off the planet. Becomes a villain in the new story. Sycamore also dies because he was already on the way. Kate is seized with new purpose, and she sets out across the universe to find whatever substance Lizzie had that brought back the treehouse to life to use it on Sycamore. And it becomes a quest story, so her versus treehouse guy, book 2.
What is the title of our story.
Who has a title for us? No Space for Love.
No Space for Love, an epic sci-fi love story written by everyone here at YallWest 2019. Thank you all very much. Have a great day, everybody. Come up and check out the fantastic art before you go.
I was so excited to meet the creators of Real Friends, one of my favorite graphic novels. So you mostly write for young adult and mid-grade age children. What makes this age most appealing to write for?
I think that books meant more to me when I was in elementary school than at any time in my life. And so when I think back at who I am as a person, it's partly because of the books that I read when I was a kid. And the idea of being able to write for people who love stories so much and get to experience stories for the first time is really exciting. Also, kids are just way cooler than adults.
Can you tell me how the story of Real Friends came to be?
First, I lived it in real life. And then, that part was important. And then I had 4 children, and there were things I wanted to talk to them about that were hard to talk about. And I wanted to be able to show them. And they love graphic novels. And so I wrote a graphic novel, and then I had the lovely Leywin fam here who graciously agreed to put it to images, and history was made.
And what can we look forward to in the next book?
Best Friends takes place 1 year after the end of Real Friends, so it's about 6th grade when she's 12, and her friends are her friends. She's got a great group of friends, but she still doesn't feel quite right. And so she's kind of struggling with, I think, things that a lot of kids struggle with but don't know how to talk about.
Grade is a really tough year, so it's a good year to kind of feature an entire year on because so much stuff happens before you go to middle school for sure.
Thanks, Shannon and Leywin. This is a book I'm really going to treasure. Now the moment we've been waiting for, the Saving Zoe panel with Allison Noel and Laura and Vanessa Marano.
And so the first question I want to ask you guys is, can you tell us how this whole Saving Zoe movie thing started? How did you first become aware of the book and decided you wanted to option it?
So I'll start, and then you can take it over. The part, it's not totally the order of how it happened. And I was working in Rhode Island on a movie called The Click, and we went to a Barnes & Noble and just grabbed a bunch of books with teenage girls on the covers, like 2 of them because we were both girls and teenagers kind of going into being teenagers. And then we gave them to Laura, because Laura is the reader of the family.
And I was like, score. I have all these books to read. So I read all of them because I love reading. And one of the books I read was Saving Zoe. And I was like, this is such a special book. I laughed, I cried, I knew it was really, really special, and it was such a special story. Well, if we want to make this into, you know, something bigger than a book and have us be a part of it, we have to make sure Vanessa actually likes it. And so Vanessa read the book and she loved it. She cried at the same part. And she was like, yes, this is so, so special. And so we contacted Allison and we're like, hey, we're, you know, I'm 11, 14, and you know, we love your book, Saving Zoe. Would you want to meet and discuss and potentially give us the rights to making the movie?
Because we were so thrilled when she agreed to let us option the book.
And so the next part of this is, I've had 17 books optioned for film, and some by huge studios with major directors attached, and they ended up going nowhere. But these 2 made it happen. And so I want to ask you, it's amazing. It is tough out there. A lot of books get optioned, very few get made.
You know, it takes us a year after Echo's older sister Zoe's been murdered, and Echo finds her sister's diary and realizes her sister's not the person she thought she was.
And so it's really, Echo goes through a variety of different emotions, really the 5 stages of grief. And she's going through them not necessarily in linear order, but she's going through it. And she's in denial for a lot of it. She's bargaining and compromising, you know, trying to emulate her sister, maybe conflating with her sister's personality a little bit. And this is the scene where it's the first time
we really see her go through grief.
She breaks for the first time, but it's the first time we get to see her unravel in a way that isn't self-destructive and is actually a healthy unraveling.
The only other thing I'll say about it is that what's very apparent in the book and in the movie is that Echo and Zoe didn't necessarily have the strongest relationship. harder when you're not close with someone and
missed opportunity.
Exactly. And so this part is when, you know, I think Echo and her little sister head is like, you know, Zoe didn't really think much of me. And this is the part where she kind of finds out that Zoe did very much care about her and did something for her, and it's a little too late.
So sad. Speaking of crying, of excitement, who wants to see the trailer?
The first day of high school is the most awkward day of your life.
I'm in every way not ready for this.
So what do you want to talk about? Your parents? School? Boys? Zoe? Everything you're feeling is normal. Your sister was murdered, and you're trying to deal with that.
I remember last summer.
Who's that? I knew it wasn't you, I swear to God.
We found your car, Mark. Are you sure there's nothing you want to tell us?
He was the last person to see Zoe alive. I never said I was perfect. As long as we learn from our mistakes, they can't really hurt us, right? Echo, Mark didn't kill Zoe.
You ever see this guy, you turn around, you walk away. I'm serious, Echo.
I'm Jason. I knew your sister.
Something happened last night. It's crazy how quickly a good time can turn bad.
But it's all my fault. I had no idea what he was gonna do.
You said once that you felt stuck in her shadow.
We're not as different as you think. Echo, stop. What?
Pretending.
Do we even know what really happened? We don't know. You didn't know my sister. My parents didn't know my sister. I barely knew my sister. How do we all not know? Someday, everybody's gonna know my name.
Books touch you on an emotional level, and this book touched and inspired actresses Laura Marano and Vanessa Marano to produce this film. Saving Zoe by Allison Noel is out in theaters this July. I want to thank YallWest and all the creators, producers, writers, and illustrators for bringing books to life for thousands of young readers. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on all the fun. See you on the next episode.